WRESTLEDUDE!
Hey guys, it's the WrestleDude, Jacob here. It's been a while since I've worn these, and it is that time of the year again. Once again, it is time to get hyped for NXT Takeover. This time it is NXT Takeover New Orleans, NXT Takeover New Orleans, which will take place the night before WrestleMania. And right here, we're going to give my predictions for all the matches and my thoughts going into the event. And then afterwards, after the show is over, I'll do a full in-depth review. If you guys would like, you can watch the review that I did for the last Takeover event, which I believe was Takeover War Games. So it has been quite a while since we've had a Takeover event. I'm very excited for NXT Takeover New Orleans. Let me know in the comment section below what match you're looking forward to the most and what your predictions are. But we're going to get right into my predictions here. So the first matchup that we have here is the Triple Threat Tag Team title matchup for the NXT Tag Team Championships. We have the Undisputed Era's Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Bobby Fish obviously out with an injury that he suffered at a live event. That is not storyline. That is a legitimate injury. There is no timetable for his return, though. The Authors of Pain, former NXT Tag Team Champions and former winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which this matchup is also for. So the winners of this match will not only win the tag team titles, but they will also win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament. So we have the Authors of Pain, the Undisputed Era, and Pete Dunne, the United Kingdom Champion, and Roderick Strong. So the reason, first off, I should probably say the reason my predictions are coming out pretty late is because I wanted to listen to some other people's predictions to kind of get some a second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth perspective on this. So I've watched Cultaholic's predictions for it. I've watched Wrestle Talk's predictions for it. I've watched Steven Larson's Going in Raw predictions for this, just so I could get a feel for kind of what everyone's saying about it. And after listening to all those guys, I feel like there's one constant in it, and it's that the the Authors of Pain are not winning. Obviously, because they should be on the main roster by now. So it really comes down to Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong versus the Undisputed Era, which I would say. You know what? I say this. I say that the Undisputed Era are going to win with help from a heel-turning Roderick Strong. With Bobby Fish out with injury, Roderick Strong is going to become the new member of the Undisputed Era. He's going to help the Undisputed Era win, a la something that happened when Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase first teamed up, when Cody Rhodes turned heel on Hardcore Holly and teamed with Ted DiBiase, and they became tag team champions together. Undisputed Era are going to retain the tag team titles with Roderick Strong helping them win. He's going to turn on Pete Dunne. It's going to be an awesome heel turn, and that's what I think is going to happen in that match. But either way, I feel like it's going to be an awesome matchup. If you guys saw the tag team matchup between Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong versus the Authors of Pain from the Go Home episode of NXT, you'll understand why this is going to be a great match. I'm really excited for it, but Undisputed Era is my pick. No matter what happens, if there's a strong heel turn or not, Undisputed Era are going to retain the tag team titles. Now, coming up next, we have the crowning. It is a six-man ladder match for the new NXT North American Championship, which I created on the PlayStation 4 Community Creations, and you can find it using the tags NXT North American, Championship, and the WrestleDude. The key one that you want to look for is the WrestleDude, because if you want to support me and download mine that I created, you got to make sure that one of the tags is the WrestleDude. Otherwise, that download doesn't go to me, it goes to another creator, which there are great creations of that championship, but not to gloat too much here, but I feel like mine's might be a little bit more detailed. I mean, I know maybe the top one that's downloaded, it looks pretty good, but compared to mine. Like, I made sure I get like HD pictures of it, but it's pretty good. Go download it for yourself and tell me what you think. But this ladder match is to determine the first ever NXT North American Champion. It is, I'm going to try and guess them without having to look at a paper. Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, EC3, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet. Did I already say EC3? I'm trying to think. Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, EC3, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet. Who else am I missing? Oh, Adam Cole! That's why, because he was already in the tag team match, right. Sorry, I completely blanked out there for a second. But yeah, the first ever NXT North American Champion. I see this going to Lars Sullivan, only because I think he's awesome. I feel like he plays his big monster character well, and I feel like he could do great with the North American Championship. And there's really some good rivalries you could get in here. Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet, we could have that. We could have EC3 versus Killian Dane, or EC3 versus Lars Sullivan for the NXT North American Championship. That could be an instant rivalry right out of the gate with that championship, and it could. I was a little skeptic of NXT having a secondary championship, just because I thought that the idea of having them have the tag team titles, the women's title, and a main championship was so good. But seeing all the talent that's coming into NXT right now, with EC3, with Ricochet, with War Machine, with everybody else, Donovan Dijak, everybody that's going to NXT, now I'm starting to understand why they needed that that secondary championship. So I want Lars Sullivan to be the first ever NXT North American champion, because I feel like he could do well with it. That's my only reasoning for it. Also because I think he's awesome. If you guys didn't see the promo that he did for the ladder match, where he's just friggin' swinging around cinder blocks, it was awesome. You should go watch it. But yeah, Lars Sullivan, my pick for the ladder match. Up next, we have Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. I see this going to Shayna Baszler. I feel like Ember Moon's going to be called up after WrestleMania. The question is, does she go to Raw or does she go to SmackDown? I say SmackDown because if Asuka's winning the championship at WrestleMania, that is a good feud to have right out of the gate, because they already have that feud built up from NXT. You could continue that on SmackDown. But either way, I see Shayna Baszler becoming the new NXT Women's Champion. Up next after that, we have Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship. There's no doubt about it here. Aleister Black is winning that NXT Championship, and something that they haven't really noted in this entire thing, Aleister Black, I believe his first takeover match was against Andrade Cien Almas, which was at the takeover event that was the night before WrestleMania. So I think it might even be a year ago, might even be over a year ago, that Aleister Black defeated Andrade Cien Almas in his debut match in NXT, and now he's facing him again with Andrade as the NXT champion. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But either way, I see Aleister Black becoming the new NXT champion. I don't think they're going to have Andrade beat Aleister Black. I feel like Aleister Black's going to be a big deal in NXT, and I feel like they're going to head towards TakeOver Brooklyn. And when Drew Galloway or Drew McIntyre gets back, it's going to be Aleister Black versus Drew McIntyre for the NXT championship at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, I believe? Yeah, TakeOver Brooklyn 4, because they had TakeOver Brooklyn 3 last year, so technically, basically, and obviously 4 comes after 3, so. But yeah, Aleister Black, new NXT champion. And finally, there's a reason why I put this in this spot. It's because I feel like this should be the match that headlines the show. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano in an unsanctioned match, and if Johnny Gargano wins, then he's reinstated back in NXT. If Tommaso Ciampa wins, then Johnny Gargano is banished from NXT for good, meaning he can't come to any of the shows, he can't come backstage to see his wife or anything like that. He's gone. And this really does make me think that Tommaso Ciampa is going to win, I really do think that this means he's going to win. But my only thought for that is that Johnny Gargano has to win this match because the entire thing has been built up on Johnny Gargano being betrayed by Tommaso Ciampa, and then afterwards he had to become himself again. Ciampa's still getting into his head even after his injury with like the T-shirt and everything in his first match against Andrade, and now that Ciampa was back, Ciampa hit him with the crutch after his match at Takeover Philadelphia, and then he friggin' hit him with the crutch when his career was on the line, and now we're headed to this unsanctioned match. It's gotten really personal. They've done like skits back and forth with Johnny trying to get to Ciampa, like chasing after him while Ciampa's in his car or while Ciampa's at home. I really do feel like Gargano needs to win this, but if Gargano wins and then he just ultimately goes out to the main roster right after WrestleMania, then I don't really see the point. But something that I do feel like is going to happen in this match is they're going to recreate that moment when Ciampa first turned on Gargano, where Ciampa is going to throw Johnny into the... They're going to battle up onto the stage. Ciampa's going to throw him into the LED board. They're once again going to do that spot where Ciampa kneed him in the face, except now Ciampa's going to have that knee brace on, so Ciampa's going to knee him in the face with that knee brace. And then they're going to try and do that same spot with Ciampa driving Johnny through the tables, although Johnny's going to reverse and put Ciampa through the tables. So I do feel like that's a given in this match, considering now that it's an unsanctioned match. Other than that, if I had to pick one or the other, I would like to see Johnny Gargano win, just because I feel like this story needs to come around, and the only way that it can come around is with Johnny Gargano winning. So that is my prediction for that matchup, and those are all of my predictions for TakeOver New Orleans. So tell me in the comment section below, you guys, what are your predictions for TakeOver New Orleans? Are you excited for any of these matches? Do you think any of these matches are going to top WrestleMania weekend? Personally, I think Ciampa versus Gargano is going to be the top match of WrestleMania weekend, but we'll see. There's tons of great matches. Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. As much as we already know the outcome, I feel like that's going to be one heck of a match. There's just tons of matches, and I am really excited for TakeOver New Orleans. So I'll see you guys for the review of TakeOver New Orleans after it takes place on Saturday, and we're in for one hell of a week. I have been Jacob, your WrestleDude, for these predictions, and I'll see you later.